Hello, viewer and onlooker.
I'm turning this off. Turn it off.
Why?
Hello, onlookers.
Whoever you may be. We don't know who we're going to give this video to. So this video is supposed to be a recording of us just telling our story for the last year-ish. Like a recap, not really deep diving, but just we want to talk about some important points. And then in the process of doing that, we're coming very real and raw to this moment because we've had some reflection and some crazy experiences that, especially in this moment right now, are affecting our daily life. And we're talking about it in the kitchen, and Rizzy's like, let's do the podcast.
I wanted to do a video and a podcast because right now we are in a weird spot, weird spot, and it's going to be inspiring. It's inspiring us already, but it's going to be even more inspiring in a few months when everything shifts. And right now we're in the pilot of our new journey, our next journey.
So let me just start by explaining a few bullet points. We started with zero. Actually, when we started this journey, we were in a camper, the different one, the first one we started with. We were in the RV park in the Pony Express here in Missouri. And we were marooned there.
We were no truck.
We had no truck. The truck broke down. Broke down on the road, pulling it. And that's what got us there, is because it broke down on the road, and the nearest place was that RV park. And we were like, we had a friend come and pull us there. The camper got damaged in the transition. The truck was spewing oil all over the highway, up in smokes, the gnarliest grinding sounds I've ever heard a transmission make. Actually ended up being the transfer case. And then I remember the next morning after dropping off the truck at the mechanic, and like we were doing all this stuff and craziness.
Well, our car just blew transmission oil all over the highway right outside of Cameron. We've got somebody coming to pull us out, but we're thinking that you're the closest option to put the camper.
And this friend towing our vehicle up there and towing our camper down here. Everything's like an hour apart from each other, right? I remember walking out of the camper the next morning, looking around and seeing full-time trailer park. And I was like,
what did we just do?
What did we just do?
We sold our beautiful home and our garden to be in this position right now.
Oh man, that was rough.
It was so hard.
Prior to that, so we had just sold our house. We got $25,000 profit out of the house after we paid back the loan and all of our personal debts. So we weren't totally debt free. We still had like $6,000 or something, my school loans, that kind of stuff. And we bought our camper outright, which ended up being $18,000. And we had just enough funds to get us to the next phase of launching the business, doing the traveling and teaching piece, which was going to start in Utah. And we were going to go to Wyoming first and then go to St. George and start traveling and teaching.
Yep.
But in this transition, we ended up dollarless in this RV park, no truck.
Well, we had to pay for the truck too at that point. So any extra cash, we had to pay for the truck to get out of the shop. We also had our car in the shop getting a new transmission at the time.
And at this time, we actually were not on. We got off of EBT and government assistance. So we prior to all of this, and so there was no help from that as a part of this. And in our history, that had been a saving grace for us. But in this moment, there was nothing. And even if we had chosen to get into supplemental help for our family in any way, as much as we didn't want to, it would have been 30 days of a wait time. And so for this period, it was no money in this camper. We weren't homeless, we were in a camper, but we were in a camper. We were in a trailer park, which was not the plan, with no truck to move it. And we had to pay $500 a month to be there, which was great actually compared to the prices everywhere else. And
we were just relying on total faith at that point.
Yeah, and we were just
that whatever we were inspired to do,
and we hadn't
come out on top.
We hadn't actually solidified the hosting program yet.
No.
So the hosting program that just took us all over the nation and parts of Canada that moved $110,000 in 9 months, like the hosting program was the coolest thing ever. But we hadn't figured that out yet. So at this point we were like, no program, no business, no money, no income. We
literally were pushed into faith. We were going, God said to do this. It's going to help us. It's going to help 1,000 people plus. Yeah. And we're going to just start. Let's just do it. And we did it. And we don't know. Yeah. I don't know what we were doing. There was no like solidified plan at that point, too.
I remember I had done an event in Evanston prior to this. It was actually, I left the week before we closed on Lulu's garden. And I went to Evanston, Wyoming, and I did an event with my mom in her house. She brought her community together. She was the first host of the whole program. But it wasn't really like a program yet. It was an idea that we would just run with. And we hadn't really solidified how it was going to work yet. And I paid my own way to get there by giving her a property plan. She basically bought a permaculture design in exchange for me coming, which was very expensive in the end.
Can we talk for just a second about your travel there and the fact that the car you were driving and the condition that it was in?
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
I mean, I remember how it died when I got back.
No, it didn't die. He had no reverse on that car the entire time, the whole travel.
The whole trip there. The transmission gear for reverse had gone out. And so I was driving the car all the way across the country with no reverse gear. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
That was crazy. It died when I got back, didn't it?
It did.
No, it did. Yeah. So actually, I went and did this. When I do that trip, I come back. We close on the house, and I did this video. The morning of the last day in the garden, I did this video, and I've been showing it all over the country. I did this video of me holding the camera in the heat of all of this happening and this emotion, and like I was back from that event and made no money, just enough to get home basically. But I like started getting footage. And that's what it was about. It's helping people see that we're doing it, the content we're getting from it, the videos and the proof of the pudding. Like that's what I was after, not the money. And so did it, got the proof of the pudding and all this stuff that it would work, and then came back. And then I do this video and I'm like, this might be the last morning in the garden at Lulu's garden. And I pan around and I show my kids for a second. Maybe I can dub that in right here. Okay, this might be our last morning in the garden. Well, mine anyway. I'm headed down to Utah, and the house is gonna sell while I'm gone. We've already accepted an offer, and so we close here soon. And so I was just taking my last stroll through the food forest. Got some corn coming up, the flowers. My boys planted that corn, my 2-year-old, all by himself. It's not grass, that's corn. He dumped the whole bottle out. All this apples finally growing on the tree. But it was one of those things where I remember the feeling of leaving Lulu's garden, and it was so heart-wrenching to let go of something we had so many plans for, so much passion for. And to land in this RV park, and for bottom pit.
Yeah, total bottom pit. But for the whole 2 weeks that he was gone in Wyoming doing this first event, he said it was the week before we closed on the house. That whole time he was gone, I was with all my kids, all 5 of them, packing up the house, literally just throwing things away because at that time we didn't have the camper.
Nope.
It wasn't ours yet.
Yep.
And so we were just going on faith, and I'm just
We were
packing things up.
downsizing to fit in the camper we didn't even own yet.
And it was like the day he was going to be back was the day that they were closing.
And I had actually, it was a blessing in many ways. When you follow faith, things just line up.
They do.
But we had this experience where I just felt like I needed to go on a drive, and I did. And as I went on this drive, I saw this town called Jamison, and I was like off to the side, and I was like, I'm just gonna go drive around. You know, there was a tiny house in this little town once. It was like a big bus they turned into a tiny house, and I was like, yeah, maybe I'll just get some inspiration and see it from the road as I drive by. And so I drove down. I couldn't find it, but as I was following this thought process, I ended up finding a camper for sale, and it ended up, long story short, being the camper that got us for 6 months around the country. And the one we ended up moving into, we parked it next to Lulu's Gardens, big, beautiful camper. Okay guys, we've been moving, we've been packing, and getting everything ready to go. This is the garden behind me, just finally loading up a few things. I'll show you kind of what it looks like on our way out. So there's the RV. And the way that I didn't have the money because the house hadn't sold yet. So the way that I financed it was I actually went to